Yeah.
I don't want to ruin it.
Not a people
See
picture.
you guys all the time. I want to try to get a
Better than finding out now than too late.
Do you know if you need to buy some things that are expensive? Because we need those very certain fabrics we need and heavy weight for it. Like we need to buy base layers. It's so expensive. Like heavy layers for one bunch. That is cool. But not merino. But for her, she's really
He was telling me the best one you're allergic to.
I'm allergic to wool. Yeah.
And merino wool is like the guys that go to cold like go to Alaska and stuff. A lot of stuff is merino wool. It's the best Yeah, I might even get some. So
You have a tree over here?
no, over here.
There's a Smith River, y'all. The only river in America that has never been dammed. A true wild and scenic river.
Well, look, you can see something's perched down here.
I'm gonna head back into the deep, dark redwood forest. It's a trail to the river. More falling down redwood trees. Oh, there's a big ass one there. That's what they call old growth. It's never been cut. This big old root ball came out of that hole, Lord knows how many hundreds of years ago. Here's another one. Redwoods have shallow roots. They extend less than 6 feet, and but they spread out wide, and they really, that's how they hold up. But when the water gets, the ground gets really wet with a lot of water, a lot of rain, and it gets soggy, and a big wind comes along, they can push these things right over.
See where it actually cracked in half.
Oh yeah.
Look at this one. That tree cracked in half when it fell.
Wherever you go, it should be good. Make sure then we'll just turn around.
I never forgot that lesson. He got so mad at me.
See this tree here? Redwood bark will not burn, and it's designed to protect the tree. But unfortunately, if the fire on the forest floor gets hot enough, it can make the inside of the tree, and the heartwood of the redwood tree will burst into flames, and then you end up with hollow trees like this. We're near the river. I think that's why we're seeing so many of these downed trees, because this river overflows its banks, you know, year after year. After 1,000 years, ground gets soft, so it loses its grip on the roots of these big monster trees. They say the redwood tree is the tree of the dinosaur. It was the only tree that was matched to the size of a dinosaur. The only tree that could stand up to a dinosaur. A dinosaur would grab it and rip it out of the ground, or just bite it off. The normal tree, that's exactly what they would do. Well, look at that tree there. I don't know, lightning or something. Look how gnarly the bark is on this one. That's strange. Almost looks like it's carved. What happened here? It almost looks like somebody's carving on it. Goddamn buttheads better not be carving on these trees. State Park will beat your ass. Another down tree. I like the way the bark's green from all the moisture here. All this down timber, you can tell this is an ancient forest. See, there's a river right there. So this area here floods all the time.
It's pretty wide there.
See, they had to cut through this one. Look at the size of this thing. It's been cut a long time. You can see how old that thing is. It's rotted. Surface rot, I suspect. These ferns, now this on the ground, although it looks like clover it is not. It's called redwood sorrel. You always find it underneath redwood trees. Look at this, not much left.
You missed this step again coming up the court just reading this. Damn, I
Quiet as a cathedral in here. That was one tree there for a minute. See where everybody's been running around them all, admiring them. Here's another one. Look at this. That was probably a lightning strike. It blew the top of that tree up. Nothing left but a shell. And look at this one. It's awful light colored. Huh.
We went to a mushroom.
Mushrooms. It's so moist back here. Well, it is almost Christmas time. We get. Look, here's another one. See? That's not a redwood, but it got knocked down. Oh, look at those. The ferns. Another tree cut in half. Halfway up the hill back here. Now what's the story? Oh, this is probably a dead tree. And see, it's falling apart. This little tree here is the only thing holding that big ass piece. That thing I'm sure weighs 1,000 pounds or more. It's all a hiker needs for it to fall on him. That'd be a hike you wouldn't forget. Got a little creek down there next to us. Now listen to this stream. Got a nice little rapid going on down there. Look at that. It's sure coming. Sure rushing. Oh yeah, there it is right there. Well, water's really coming down. It rained like hell yesterday. We got 2.5 inches of rain at my house, which is just a few miles from here. Look at this. There's a bearded tree. Why do they call it Spanish moss? Did the Spanish bring it from Spain when they explored this area in 15, 16, 1700s? Or did they discover it and they named it? Don't know. You know, I think Spanish moss is a good question for Wikipedia. The silence is deafening. The fire did to that one.
You see this one that had a fire in the middle?
Could be lightning too.
Kind of just relax and make dinner and stuff.
Look how that one's all split into different pieces. That's what the early loggers found out. They say the first few loggers that approached these trees, they were stunned. They didn't have a clue how they dropped such a huge tree. But by and by they worked out the logistics of it and how they would go about it. And then they learned another lesson. When they dropped the first tree, it's so monstrous and so heavy, when it hit the ground it would just fracture into 1,000,000 pieces. So they finally learned to lay trees under it, so when you drop one of these trees it would drop on the logs in one piece. Look at that. So apparently this forest has had a fire. Not recently. So all the blackened tree trunks that I see they're ancient.